Good evening. It's 7 o'clock. It's Monday night, and here I am with mental mind treatments with psychic compressions. I want to welcome Marianne and Kayla, and I already had an email from Navy Tarots so that we can also work with that as well. I've still been trying to work around figure out the best place to put my computer in relation to my space. Just fun and games. So I'm going to start off, first of all, with Kayla's, who happened to, usually 4 o'clock every day, but I was having a nap. So I had to call her back and we just talked about some bits and pieces. As you may be aware, Kayla had surgery on her knee and she's still working on rebuilding her energy because now she's going to be talking about the surgery on the other knee. So it's got a long, continuous journey. Now, she's in looking at what she needed, I decided that we wanted to call it rebuilding energy for her. And she said, you pick the numbers. So I did 17, 3, and 12. Balance for 17. 3 is the universal love force. Oh, she says, I'm skipping words again. And I wonder why it does that. Oh, dash it all. Other two noticing that I'm skipping words? Could be the way I'm talking too. Okay, let's just see what settles. It doesn't show here that I am, but Karen, if you find that I still am, otherwise I'll have to go out and come back in because nothing's worse than something skipping around all the time. Anyway, it's good to see you guys coming in on a Monday night. I want to just talk about Kayla, first of all, in that rebuilding the energy after her surgery. And I picked 17, 3, and 12. With the tarot, it's the Star, the Empress, and Hanged Man. So we know that that's about acceptance, love, and doing what you're going to do. So let's just do a treatment on that. I know there is one power in one essence. Thanks, Marion. She just says there's no skipping there. I know there is one power in one essence, and for this I am thankful. I'm thankful for Kayla that the energy that she is rebuilding requires rest, requires balance, and to recognize when she's tired and to be able to rest and what's the word? Karen, I would suggest you go out and come back in because it's the only one that says that. So we will see what happens there. Now, I know there is one power and one essence, and I know that as Kayla becomes more aware of her own limitations and accepts that then the love of self paramounts over the love of everybody else, where she works to exhaust herself. So I just see there is a real awareness happening around how it is that she feels in relation to herself. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks that she is rebuilding energy. I give thanks in the awareness of I better have a rest. So that there is an awareness building on the sense of the direction of where it is happening. Now, so we're going to just give thanks for that and let that go. Now, I'm going to go to Marianne's. And as you know, Marianne also works the bowl for me that helps my energy maintain. And as always, I keep forgetting her the last few weeks. And I've got a new home which meets all the requirements. And I got some interesting numbers. I got the Tower, I got Empress, and I got the World. And that just tells me that when this new home arrives, we've had that before, 16. It's out of the blue. It's not something it just arrives. And it's a loving sense. It's everything one wants. And so it's about then creating the balance to be able to make whatever move is required or needed in order to move into the new home. So the treatment will go like this. I know there is one power in one essence, and I know that Marion is aware of how all the different energies are there to aid, help, and bring forth and manifest. And that's what I feel we're needing here is that no matter how it shows up with the tarot, it will be not expected. It is done from a loving perspective in a loving way, and that it creates the balance that you're looking for in the relation to where you're wanting to go with the world, with your life, with all things. And so, therefore, it's a happy, wonderful sense of being and allowing and getting exactly where you need to be. And for this knowingness, I give thanks by saying, and so it is. Amen. Yes, we'll be excited for that one. Navy Tarot emails me because it's midnight where he is, and like everybody, he needs his sleep too. And I'm smiling because he's asked for two things. One is for lots of money. I don't know that I can just create money, but the numbers was 3, 8, and 14. Now 3, 8 is love. 8 is balancing from above into into the world, and 14 is creating a balance in the world. So when I look at that, I want to put the treatment this way. I know there is one power and there's one essence. And I also know for Navy Tarot, in time and space, there is a love not only of self, but how the universe works. There is an acceptance that it is balanced into the world, that in the balance of the world, everything comes together. And it feels to me like it's not so much about the money, it's about opportunity. I would change the word from lots of money to opportunity. And in the opportunity, you're able to balance and create exactly what it is you want. I give thanks in the knowing of this because it shows the reality of what really is and not just, this is what I want. Yes, we all like that. But how does that occur? Here, I see opportunity and balancing it and having that work in an effective way. And for this, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. He also asks, as often does, for his eyes. And he got 2, 9, and 19. Choice, hermit, which means you have your answers, and 19 is the sun. We've talked about this many times between the two of us, through emails, etc. There needs to be an inner decision as to the direction of how you want your eyes to be in acceptance. And it says the answer lies within you. What is your expectation? What are you expecting? And it's like leave the past behind as you move forward, because in leaving the past behind as you move forward, everything falls into place in an effective way. So if you want to stay locked into what has been and how it's worked, that's not going to be as effective. So it's really important that you look at that. The answer lies within you. You need to talk to those eyes, to know for the eyes, to give the eyes the love and the support, because it's your decision, it's your choice to move into a new field, a new awareness, and a new going places. That's what I see. So I give thanks for this. And as we give thanks, I just say, and so it is. So everything so far, when we're going down, I want to just catch up with where I am. Okay, we got those two. Sorry about this. Ashika, hi. Hope you are doing well. Yes, you can do a treatment for the breakup I am going through right now. Have separated from my partner of 2 years last week. Okay, that isn't always the easiest. I guess you didn't pick 3 numbers, so but we can do our treatment anyway. The one number that comes through my mind really right away is number 12, which is hanged man, which is the acceptance. First thing is to really come to an acceptance of what is, and then a direction of where you want to go and where you want to work and where you're wanting to have it implement to yourself. So the treatment for Ashika. I know there is one power in the one essence, and I know that Ashika is strong. She is aware. She knows what she wants. All of this is incredibly important in creating and allowing the acceptance of what is. This has the decision that is being made. Therefore, now it's like a clean slate. Where do we go from here? What do we create? What is our major goal? Where do we want to be? All of these things need some thought and awareness so that you can plan the next moves. You can plan the direction that you're going into. And as you have been working through all things, there is a joyous pattern. I feel a joyous feeling inside like, yes, this is a new door. This is a new awareness. And many of the ills, maybe many of the pains, many of the restrictions that you've experienced will totally drop away because you're opening a new door. So you step through that door in health with a thought in your mind of the direction that where you're going. It's funny, I reached into my little guide box, which I haven't done for a wee while, and I said, okay, what would work with tonight? And it says, I am discovering who I am with joy. And I'm going to put that up here. And I think that's a very good message for you. I am discovering who I am with joy. And on the other side, which is often very interesting too, everything, all gifts given to me, I give to God. But we just want that first one. So, okay, I'm going to do another little treatment here and saying, knowing there is one power, one essence, I know that Ashika is experiencing an inner strength. So instead of the worry, the concern, the anxiety, which often plagues the mind, there is a sense of peace and an awareness of the direction that you're moving into. As you move into that direction, there is love, light, and awareness. The key here, from my perspective for you, Akisha, is to keep your goals of how you want it to be, how you want it to go, really strong in your mind. Like set your goal and know that the universe is listening to you. And just be calm and aware of the direction that you're heading in and letting it go. Do not uh, look back and say, oh, look ahead and say, yay, because now there's an opportunity to be all that you can be. I give thanks in the knowing of this, and I give thanks, and as I release this, knowing that it is true for Ashika. Freedom. Freedom is the word, the direction of where you're heading and going. Freedom. And in that freedom comes many, many blessings. And so I look forward through the weeks that are coming, strength, purpose, awareness, change to the plus side, which is really, really, really good. So I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, now, Karen Marcus, hi. Greetings. I would love a treatment for clarity. So, Karen M. Clarity, vision, and right action. Yeah. It's a good one for people to, by the way, to piggyback on to for that. And her numbers are 12, 8, 22. Acceptance, strength, and moving forward. Lovely. It fits really well. Okay. So let's just talk about symbology for a moment. 12, the hanged man. One of the keys anytime we're going to do change is to accept totally what's happening. No ifs, ands, and buts and recriminations of changes or something. Just accept. You want clarity, you want the vision and the right action. Know that. Know that's there. 8, strength. By knowing there is a power bigger than you that you are connected to and allowing that power to come in to bring peace and awareness, a sense of purpose, it's though it puts you into a different framework for moving forward. And 22, which is the world, says you can bring total balance into your world. Very often when we go through shifts and changes, and it seems like this is appropriate for what people are saying already tonight, is that we need time. I always say time is my friend because we don't change on like we just don't change like this fast or sometimes it happens, but mostly no. Mostly it's like turning that big boat around and going in a different direction. But here with the acceptance being in the beginning, just accept what is. But then reach in for your in soulless awareness, growth, perception of the direction you're heading into and where you're going, and then move forward. So let's see what the treatment says on that. Knowing there is one power in the one essence, and I know that you are aware of that power that is there for you. It is like bringing it in, though. I want it into the, I'm going to use the word guts, into the stomach, into the digestion, into right down to the bottoms of your feet and into the earth. It's It's almost like I want to tug it right in, not just in my head, not just in my heart, but in my whole body and down through my feet into the earth. So it's like I'm replanting myself in a whole different way. So you have clarity, you have the vision of the right action that's and the strength to move towards that right action with ease and with grace. I give thanks in the knowingness that Karen Emmett knows and is working with herself in a new way, in a new clarity, with a different vision, so that right action automatically comes. People forget that right action comes because you listen to the essence of your heart, that you pursue the directions that you wanting to go, that you move in the area of how you want it to be. Sometimes it's better to go slow and sure to have the clarity of vision of the end result, the end goal, the end awareness, and the moving forward. So I give thanks in the knowing this that the power that Karen knows about and is aware of, not only does she have clarity of vision and right action, she has peace. She has an inner peace. As I say, an inner peace passes understanding. It's like everything clicks and in its right effectiveness. And in that clicking, when everything comes into being, there is not only peace of mind, but that number 8 comes in and the blessings of the universe are felt so that you can move forward without struggle, without fear, and just the breath of being because you have clarity, vision, and you know the right action because you feel it. It's not mental, it's the whole being. I give thanks in the knowing of this as I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, Leroy, good to hear from you again. Hello, I've been having a tough time in life. Every day is a struggle. A very good friend passed unexpectedly, so sad about it. Looking for an uplift. Well, let's see what Leroy. And the numbers you picked are 4, 6, and 8. Part of me wants to say every day is a struggle. What are you struggling? What is What is so, I want to say addictive or fascinating about struggle? What is it that you really want? When I look at these numbers, 4 is the emperor who's just sits still and sits on his duff and says, this is how it is. 6, lovers, just get more confused, unsure. Number 8, which you know is a strength card, is the way out. The recognition that there is a power that is mightier than us, bigger than us, more knowing than us, but mostly brings love into our system. This is what's really important. We can beat ourselves up because life isn't the way we want it. We can feel sad. We can feel depressed. We can feel upset. We can be confused. But remember, you're given a mind. You're given choice. There's lots of things written that talk about choice. And if you, and I know you know tarot, what is the second card of the Higher Arcana? The High Priestess. You have a choice. Stand still or you move ahead. Which one do you prefer to do? I think, like a lot, reminds me of a Ferris wheel. Ferris wheel, there's also the other ones that go round flat, but this is a Ferris wheel. Like you go up, everything looks great. I can see, yes. And then you come down again, and then it doesn't, so it's an endless turning of the old stuff. At some point, and that's where 8 comes in, strength. You say, that's, there's an old biblical saying, and I know you know the Bible really well. Get behind me, Satan. There comes a time when you say to those thoughts, those feelings, those awarenesses, get behind me. I no longer require them. I don't want them. I don't need them because I'm claiming. It reminds me, I come from a horse racing country, right? And I was kind of raised around race day and picking horses and things like that. And they have and I think they have it here too. They're called claiming races, where someone doesn't really want their horse and they run and you can give money. You can decide what money you want to pay for it. Claiming. What do you want to claim? Love, success, peace of mind. All of those can be done with the power of your mind and the power of the love force that is there for you. But you have to choose that. You have to choose. Do you want to be miserable? Or do you want to let the love that is there waiting for you into your heart so that you can be at one with it and enjoy it and look out at the world with different, what would you call that? Different viewpoint, different shades, different awareness in your eyes. What are you seeking? Do you seek out what doesn't work, or do you seek out what would work? When we have been depressed or sad for a long period of time, it's like breaking a habit. I used to bite my nails. It's a terrible habit. And I still have frail nails because of that. They break off. The good news is that I can't put this one in my mouth if I even wanted to. And this one, the nails, I pick at them sometimes. But it's a habit. It was a habit of worry and concern because I never thought I was good enough. The truth is, it's only when you realize that there is a force of love that is there for you. And it says you're good enough. It says if you want to create whatever you want to create, that you can do that. And when I look at these numbers here, number 4, the emperor, cynical, looks out at the world, doesn't see the beauty, only sees what needs to be done. Number 6, lovers, confusion, all sorts of emotions going around that basically need to be harnessed and figured out. Where do we want to go from here? So your key is the 8, strength card. My suggestion is take a look at that strength card every day for this next week and let it talk to you about how that power from above can come in and show you a different path. Maybe the same scenarios, but I'll guarantee it's a different path, a different way of handling, a different way of being, because 4 and 6 say I'm not good enough, and no matter what I do, it's not going to change. I say it can change, and you are worthy of changing. And so we're going to do a prayer on that. Okay. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know as I speak my word for Leroy that the what I call God, love, the love force, which I call it, is what I really call it. What the love force is there. And it's like a windstorm that's rattling the windows saying, let me in, let me in, let me in. Know your worth, know you're important, know that you are loved beyond measure. Just let it be. Let's just take all the judgments, all the restrictions, everybody else's perception, and bury it in the garden or let it go up in a windstorm or whatever, and claim your inheritance of being all that you can be. So much talent, so much awareness, so much strength. Time to allow it to manifest, in a way that brings peace to you. No matter what guilt you carry from wherever, that it's all about self-forgiveness. It's all about knowing that you are worthy and that you can forgive yourself for whatever it is that you feel you're carrying within you. It's not true, because you're loved, and you need to let that in. You need to recognize that whatever you want to call that power that's out there, what I call universal love force, loves you beyond measure. Let it in. Let it in. Let it feel it, heal those parts of you that are sad, that don't feel worthy, and allow yourself to know, I am. There's a saying that says, I am that I am. But really, it's about I am. That's who I am. Here I am. And to open yourself up to feel all of that beautiful splendor. So you claim it. I've got written down here, claiming inside a big heart. Claim yourself. Take a breath every day. Allow that love in. However you want to do it, through your heart, through the top of your head, through your hands, wherever. Hold yourself. Know that you are loved and you are worthy. I give thanks on the knowing of this, and I give thanks, and I look forward to seeing you back here again. Hopefully, this was uplifting. Lots of love, and see you next week, hopefully. And you can always email me. You know that. Kayla says, thank you, Norma. Your treatment was definitely fits for me. Marion says, thank you, Norma. Karen B says, good evening, Norma. Love and blessings to you and everyone here. Karen B says, may I please have a healing blessing for our friend Mark? I'm going to change my page over. Mark via Karen B. Recovering from throat cancer. That can't be fun. Cancer surgery. 3, 16, and 8. Okay, Karen, we'll go through you to get full mark. One of the things in numbers are interesting. 3 is the Empress, the law of love, abundance, awareness. 16 is the Tower, when everything comes down and feels just totally wiped out. And 8 is about the strength from above into the vessel, you could say. It's where the lady has a lion and she's soothing the lion. But it's like applying that love force to the world. Okay, I'm just tuning into Mark. When we often contact or create and have these situations like throat cancer, and then we have the surgery, sometimes the lovingness of ourselves gets a little lost by all the procedures and all the comments that are made. And it feels like life has come to an end, which is 16, which is the Tower, everything forward. Like it's like whatever we believe all of a sudden gets hassled. And now, again, 8. 8 seems to be what's happening today. Often we get a number that keeps coming up. Strength. And this is what I feel that Mark needs. To me, it's almost like a vision. And even though the throat, it's to do with speaking and declaring and or whatever else, it feels like vision to me. How do we have vision in relation to our lives? You know, some people meditate. Some people, yeah, they meditate or pray or whatever you want to call it. Take time to get the thoughts and awareness of where you're going and what you're doing and what you're wanting to do. And what I sense here is a fear of not being able to create what we used to do. Now, I don't know what this man did or does if he uses his voice, which is likely with the cancer being in there. And so it feels like, oh, my life there's nothing here. Where is it gone? And it says, nothing is ever ended. The one thing about the love force I discovered, when one door closes, another opens. But we've got to be able to be prepared to step into that opening. And that's the hard part often, is to recognize we were here, then we go through this turmoil, and then we have to open another door. So we close that door and we open that door. Any of us that have lived through COVID, through many other elements of that, I know my life seems to have had stop and starts quite a bit. COVID was one of the big ones. Yes, not that I had it, I didn't, but everything around me stopped, as you know. And I had to reestablish how I was going to proceed ahead. And this is what I feel here, is a needing of coming to terms, Mark, because I'm talking to Mark and away through you, Karen, is having to come to terms with the letting go of whatever it was he loved to do in a way that he loved to do. Many of you heard my story of when COVID came. No more meditations, no more arriving. I had to rearrange everything, which is what began these YouTube shows, because I like teaching and I think I have something to teach or say. I always spoke, I always taught, I always went, and all of a sudden we couldn't do anything. And I feel that's what Mark's going through, is the pain of having his life demolished by this thing called throat cancer. It's not the end. I used to have a saying, well, I still have a saying actually. It says, there are no endings, there are only beginnings. Think about that. No endings, only beginnings. How many times each one of us that is here tonight and people that you know have had their lives come to a full stop for various reasons, and then having to pick it up in a different way, maybe a different look, a different awareness, and begin on. And that's where I look here and I see the lovingness of communication this man has. And that even though right now it feels like, oh my goodness, what am I going to have? It says, remember, there is a power, whatever you call it. I mean, it doesn't matter the name. There is a power. I call it the love force because that's what I ran into when I really got it, that there was love here. And in that lovingness, and the way I've drawn it is it's fairly balanced on the upside. I think he has a philosophy, but he needs to just bring it a little bit more into his everyday world. Just a little bit more, not a whole lot, just a little bit to recognize when one door closes, another opens, but you've got to be willing to look for it. It's not like it comes and says, here, 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 here. It's like you go through life and then it opens up. On the back side of this card, I think I might have said this, everything, all gifts given to me, I give to God. God gives us all the gifts we need. I just call it that name because the card says that. And it says, I am discovering who I am with joy. You're going to be different. It won't be quite the same, Mark, but it's not the end. It is a turn in the road. And sometimes those turns in the road tend to be incredibly, incredibly helpful in the long run when it comes to how we feel, where we are, and where we're heading. I give thanks in the knowing. So let us just do quick treatment on this. Knowing that there's one power in one essence, I know that Mark is ready to accept and then to open up to possibilities that are different than he has experienced. That he can open up to the awareness of life never ends. Everything transitions. You know, like even in us, when our lives come to that ending, it just means we leave this body and move on. And some of my talks have talked about that. Probably time to do some more of that, actually. Where are we heading? Mark, I know that you have perseverance. I know that you have sadness right now, but I also know that shift of awareness that more will be added to you if you're open for it. I give thanks in the knowing that you're open to more, different, but more. I give thanks as I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay, I'm just going to go down, make sure I haven't missed anybody. Karen B. blessings to you and everybody here. Karen B. again, please. That's for his friend Mark. And Karen Marcus says, thank you. Glad it made sense. Rashika says, thank you. And Leroy says, thank you. You get to the heart of the matter. Much love and grateful for you and your work. Well, I love it when you show up. So know that. Karen B's given me lots of hearts. That's love. Says, thanks so much. So that leaves this Monday night. Just want to know that, yeah, everything is falling into place, getting used to my new computer. We still haven't got all the bugs out yet, but it's life. That's how life is and how we come together and move it. And I want to thank you, those that come most Monday nights. I appreciate it. It helps me get through my ups and downs because I'm just a normal person with ups and downs. I really want to thank you for supporting and showing up. And some of you show up and show up and show up and show up. And I sincerely appreciate it. I love you. Please keep showing up. And of course, today's Monday. On Wednesday morning, I'm going to be talking about psychic tools. I'm missing my, um, I can't even think of the name of it. I've got it sitting over there, my big crystal ball. I haven't been doing any crystal ball readings, so I'm going to talk about that and pendulums and a few other things on Wednesday morning. So you may want to catch that. And in the meantime, just remember, look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. Because we all have trials we bear, we have to go through and deal. You're loved. So love yourself as well. Thanks for thanks for joining in. Thanks for being here. See you Wednesday. See you Sunday. And I'll be back Monday. Bye.